Hello everyone, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button, a junk journal I slow stitch, and today I am back with part 2 of my family project where I am making a junk journal for each one of my siblings. We're going to get together and put photographs in and have a time reminiscing. So this is how far I've got. I was putting colour on the pages because I was inspired by this ongoing project that's been ongoing for more than a year, where I've actually painted all the pages in this journal, where I'm only using the book pages basically that have been amended to go in there. So this one has been completely painted through, and there's a mixture of colours, some more bright than others, and I'm quite pleased with it. And 3 of the others are all more than halfway there, so that's really good. And my one, the one that we're going to be working on, we might do some work on the other ones as well, just because I think it might be an idea to see how you would come at it from like a more male perspective, I guess. But yeah, so this is my one, which is a big mix. And I'll quickly, so I've put the cat in, and that was his nickname, was Tom Ashanti. And I've put some words in. I'm going to use some select words. I've also got some family catchphrases that we're going to use. So I've even closed it while it was damp. That's all right. I can sort that out. I'm not being precious over this, particularly because it's mine. But I've just started adding some bits. And adding some of my paint markers, which I think is what's really going to make this journal shine, really, is adding all the layers of the paint markers and stuff. So I'll tell you a tale about a snail who jumped in the fire and broke his tail, ran upstairs, broke a dish, blamed it all on the little fish. Was a little poem that my mum used to say to us when we were really little, and she said it to all the grandchildren as well. It's kind of like a sleepy time poem. That's probably shouldn't put that on the internet. That's sensitive information. That's my previous surname. So I've got some things lined out to where I want them to go, and I've got some blank pages. I'm not sure whether I'll put one of the family catchphrases on there or make another pocket. I think I'm leaning towards putting the family catchphrases. This is a layered, like, it's ready for photographs now. So it's Princess Leia, like a watercolour that I just found online. And I've cut it out and just highlighted it with various gold paints, and then gone in with my white gel marker. I like the Unibal's Signo one because it writes over paint quite well, and I don't have to seal it. I mean, if I had gone over, but then I was like, I do not have the time, like with a really thin layer of PVA or some matte medium, kind of, you know, some, what's it called? I need to reach for it. You know what I mean? The Liquitex matte medium. There we go, perimenopausal brain for you. You wouldn't get this sort of little lining because this is a new pen, so the ink flow should be really good. But I mean, you can leave it to dry and then go back over if you were so inclined. I'm not particularly, but you can do. I think I know I've developed a certain sense of what my marks are that I do mark making with. So it is stars and dots. And the dots are either in a cluster of 3 or they're just spread out. So this is what I'm saying about like the final bit, and then the photographs go in. The photographs will be telling the story. This is another one where I've just I've got something to stick on, but I don't know where to stick it, whether to stick it here or just put one of my family sayings or make a tuck spot here, which is what I'm leaning towards. But just making those marks, and it's quite naive really. It's not at all sort of sophisticated. I'm not going for sophistication here. I'm going for a childish look because the photographs are of our childhood. I'm also going for bright colours. I like bright colours, but I'm also mindful that, you know, these photographs are based in the 70s, the 80s and the early 90s. And they kind of were not very, they weren't very neutral decades. Should we just put it that way? You know, like colours were a big thing. So now I've got an old-fashioned polo, which I'm quite aware some of these sweets you might not have them quite this way. in your country, but these sweets are very reminiscent of my dad. He stopped smoking when I was a small child and then was like addicted to polo mints and always had polo mints. So there was that, and then there was always Turkish Delight hidden in various places, and you would get some if you asked for it. And it was always Fry's Turkish Delight. I still like Fry's Turkish Delight now, actually. It was an acquired taste when you were young. It wasn't my favourite, I've got to admit. But so I'm adding those on because it's going to be very reminiscent. And then I thought I would do some mark making on these 2 pages. And then I might not do the full lot of mark making. Then I thought I would reach for some of my other supplies, like snippet rolls and such, and add some of this. And then I think what I will do is be dipping into my scrap drawer and using my scraps, so that this is a bit more of Lindsay today, whereas this is very much Lindsay in the 80s and 90s. So let's go in. I always like to go in with a star, and I just add some stars. Really randomly. And your mark making can be different. I find mark making really helpful for my mental health, basically. It's a simple, repetitive action. It's a very low risk action. I can just get on and make some marks. And because it all, even if you don't do it perfectly, when you add everything on, it just all sort of comes together. And it kind of takes away from the writing. It all blends. It's got good layering. It's important really for a junk journal. So if you're new to junk journaling, pop a little comment in the comment below. If you've never thought about making a junk journal in this way that you would use for your family, also pop a comment. Or if you have and you've got some tips, that would be really good. Now, this is not going to be like a formal scrapbook, so there's not going to be any formal storytelling in this. This is literally going to be about everybody sitting around and telling the stories and just adding the photographs. So there may be some, I'll take some pens and things up for people to scribble stories on the back of the photographs. Actually, I think I'll get some fine acrylic markers. That would be good, wouldn't it? So yeah, so I'm filling myself up with my stars. Not worrying if I make any mistakes, because there isn't any mistakes to make. Particularly this is going to get covered with photographs, so, really not bothered. I like the idea of this purple. Give it a shake. So, acrylic marker wise, I have some Posca markers, and then I have what I refer to as not Posca markers. And these ones are I've got some other ones somewhere else. And they're just cheapy ones and they work quite well. So, Posca markers are very expensive. I'm not doing my little clusters of 3. I'm just going to put, where there's a gap, I might put 3 there. There you go. See, expensive Posca marker, and it's leaked everywhere. But I'm not going to worry. I will pause you at some point though and do a bit of blasting it with a heat gun. Otherwise, we will be waiting until next year. I'll put that there. What do we think? Do I need any more? I think that's enough for there. Now I want a bit of gold in, because I like a bit of gold, like a bit of bling. And again, it's a not Posca marker. I don't think I've got any Posca metallics. No, I think they're all sort of off-brand ones. And they're years old. Like, this marker is ancient. But it's just keeping going, so I keep going with it until it no longer keeps going, basically. If it became really annoying to use, then I wouldn't use it, but they're not, they're alright. That's You can see my lines are not really straight. That's not, it's all like adding to an effect. It's not really, don't really matter. Okay, I think now I'm going to pause you and I'm going to sort that out by drying it. And then we'll look to see if there's nothing else I want to do for now, and there might not be. And then we might move to doing some bits with snippet rolls, just to sort of fill it up. And then I think next time we might tackle the front covers on all of them, so that we're beginning to get a sense of like what it's going to look like. I will keep working on it in between, like I've done this between the last time that you saw this project, so that you get a sense of it developing. But yeah, I'm quite excited. Right, see you in a moment. So I'm back, and oh, see, it ran. But I'm really not worried about it, because there's going to be photographs. See, and I added some extra gold in, and I like it. I like it a lot. And I still think actually I could get in there with a black marker and make some notes in and around here. I could just put some writing in. It could still work. So now I want to use some of this. I don't want to do a belly band. And I see now we've got here. That's a possibility, is this page. This is a possibility. That might be probably more likely actually. Yeah, I like that. So this is a snippet roll that was made up from Junk Journal July leftovers, basically. Scrap paper. I think it was even some of the printables from Junk Journal July, and then the bits left over from my kit, and not all of them because I still have loads. Sorry, I'm going off the camera there. But yeah, there's all kinds of things. There's antique bits of paper, but there's also printables. There's bits from book pages. There's all kinds of stuff. Stamped images on book pages. Really nice way to use your scraps up. I'm sure there are loads of tutorials and things like that. I think I want to make a kind of a deep pocket, but I don't want that like that. I'm going to go around that bit in gold. Am I going to use this pen or a different pen? What are you? Let's have a go with this pen and see what it does. I think I am going to have to treat myself to some new gold pens. I've been limping on for months. I do have, go around all of it in gold. I do have some like paints, and if I was sat here not talking to you, I probably would just use my paints, because time's a bit the essence, and this stuff does dry quicker. I'm going to go in with a paint marker. So it's not like it's a watercolour paint marker, it's not a smelly marker. But it's nice to add a bit of gold on. Make sure, am I in the frame? I'm still getting back used to making videos, because, you know, I was making them nearly every day. And you get into a flow and you have an understanding of like your equipment and stuff, and I'm finding, yeah, there's still things I've got to do with my energy and stuff I've got to do in the house as well. Just doing stuff. Like I had a good catch up with my sister yesterday. That was quite nice. But that was instead of coming up here, because then I realised what time it was and I was like, oh, okay. So I sent I sent an email off for Junk Journal January to the wonderful Sandra, who's putting that together. So I sent a list of prompt suggestions and days that I would be willing to do, so that can get out to the people and that they've got enough time to get on and do it. We want to be relaxed about things. Now, we may be wrapping some of this over or trimming it off. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we're going to go like that, I think. I want to reinforce it somehow. Making all this up as I go along, can you tell? I think junk journaling is like that. And that's why I like it. And slow stitch is like that as well. It's really good for that sort of creative process. Thinking about things and how things go together and what works and what doesn't work. So I'm just going to kind of cover over the bit that became the snippet roll. I'm using the stinky glue just because it grabs quickly and it's not as messy as me using my Pritt stick. But my dehumidifier and my air purifiers are on. You can hear them humming in the background. I'm afraid that is the sound of the winter in this house. I live in a really old house that has a predilection to get damp. So to avoid that, we make sure that things are ventilated, but also that there's dehumidifiers and there's air purifiers on the go all the time. And it does work. We've been in this house now. This will be our 5th winter, and we have not had a problem with damp. We could see when we arrived that there has been in the past a problem with damp, but I guess our many years of, I'm going to glue down that bottom because that'll be the really strong bit. Private renting in Cambridge where properties are atrocious, but you're paying for the postcode, people. Yeah, which was a necessity at the time. And I got to admit, it's a beautiful city. I really enjoyed living there. But yeah, you're just paying for the postcode. It was definitely not for the calibre of rental houses. Okay, I like that, and that kind of fits. I think also what I might do is make some bits and pieces up with my napkins. I think I want to put some Christmassy elements in it because Christmas was a big part of our childhood. You know, one of 4 children. There was little children in our house for like 17 years, so you know, Christmas was magical. Even in really difficult times, I remember wrapping all my younger siblings' Christmas presents the sort of the year after my dad died, and it was kind of somber, but it was still magical because it was magical for them, and we all sort of like, it lifted all our spirits that they were enjoying the presents and they were excited because they were young enough that they were just genuinely excited. They weren't as, I'm sure they were grieving, but it's just different, I think, for little kids, isn't it? So we've gone quite far with just the little bits that we've done today, which is adding a bit of snippet rolling, adding some more of my printed stuff. I'm trying to work out, have I printed enough or do I need to print more? So that's why I thought mine one was a good indicator of how much more would I need to add. And was it necessary for everything to be like ultra meaningful? Could some of it just be nice, pretty, ephemera looking stuff? Because it's the photographs that are important, not necessarily these bits. But yeah. So there's a family saying here, which my little sister would always get attacked by the cat on the landing, and it would just be, the cat's got me. So I think I'm going to be writing things like that there, that the cat's got me. Just because they're funny. They wouldn't be funny to anybody else's family. They're just funny in my family. We kind of all have giggles. So I've got more of this cat because I think I must have printed more of them out. I don't think I want that there if that's going to repeat. So I need to move that along. Bag post. Now I have a bag post journal that is on the go, which again is very sort of reminiscent of childhood. But I might probably in the new year I'll get that back out and we can all have a look. Because I think junk journaling it can mean lots of things to lots of people, and it's all just as valid. So like for some people it is about preserving memories and it's a bit more scrapbooky. For other people it's about reminiscing, which is different from preserving memories. That's, you know, like reminiscing is getting a sense of something. Other people it's just the joy of making something beautiful. So yeah, But you can see with that, I've just done a really simple page with just gold dots on it, and the pink picking out. He's a very pink and cream cat, Bagpuss. He was, I think they're making a film of it in the 1970s in the UK. He was children's TV. 1970s into the 80s, because they did a lot of repeats, and he was literally my favourite TV programme was Bagpuss. So there may be some more Bagpuss things. There may be some slow stitch Bagpuss things. BMXs. I had a BMX. Oh, there's another Tom O'Shanter. I wonder if I can put that in another book then. Roller skates. So there are lots of little bits and pieces in here that are very much personal to me, and I've still got my Star Wars characters to put somewhere, and I'm not sure I'm going to put them. Kojak, for Kojak reasons. My little bit of snippet roll. I'll put some more. Even this is a pocket with Thomas on it, and it's just, again, food packaging with the printable cat over the top, and then that's my paint markers. So I intend to cover the books with some paint markers and just like go ham on it. And I think my strategy, because that's what I'm sort of working out with this, and this is what I'm working out with you as well if you wanted to do it, particularly because it's a bit of a mass make, is I think I'm going to stick all the printables down, and then I'm going to go in with the pens. I've done a little bit here and there because I wanted to see how it would look, and I'm quite happy with how it looks. I don't know quite what I'm going to do with the map bits. I need to do something, but I'm not quite sure what that'll be. So yeah, go through early on, and with printables, see, like that. Oh no, I could put the sewing machine. Oh no, it's a pocket, isn't it? That's why I've gone for there. So that same landing where the cat would be, my mum used to have like an old-fashioned Singer sewing machine that needs to live somewhere, because that's very reminiscent and very beautiful. And I think my love of vintage actually comes from like this sewing machine and a few other pieces of furniture that we had that we got from relatives, like hand-me-down furniture. I think certainly my love of some of the vintage furniture is all tied up in reminiscing about things, and childhood home, basically. So definitely my love of vintage sewing, cotton reels and everything comes from that sewing machine. So yeah, right then, so I will find a page for you to leave it on. It might leave it on Princess Leia. That might be an idea. So it's our family project part 2. I don't know how many parts there will be to this, because I'm going to carry on working on it, and then I will, as I think there's a notable amount of progression that would help you if you wanted to do it, then I think it's probably worth sharing. So that's basically how I'm going to go with this project. But let me know. Is this something that you're thinking of doing? I think next time it will be the covers, because I can just carry on doing the other bits and pieces. It'll be the covers, and then you've got an idea of some of the things that, things that we do, or things that you could use. Like, I think every family's got catchphrases. I know, like in my little 3 family, we have catchphrases and nicknames for people. And yeah, it might be worthwhile for us to be writing that down too. Okay, so I will let you go with this. I will say that we're in October. This will go out in October. I still have a slow stitch to finish here. I think I nearly finished the hat, so I'll just be doing a show and tell with that, which will probably be in conjunction with this. So this is one side that's nearly complete of my slow stitch witchy purse. Oh, it's so nice. So nice. And then this is the other side. So we'll be doing some stitching together, and then we're going to be doing some mark making and writing words, kind of bringing our journaling into our slow stitch. Love it. And then there will be some wearables. I've got a jumper I want to make over with you. So that's for the slow stitch side. For the junk journal side, I want to start a new project, and that will be towards the end of the month. I'm going to start a book. I'll talk to you more about it. It's another personal one. Ooh, I think I really am entering my sort of reflective era. Yeah, but I think it might be useful for other people too, so I will share it. Right then, I will see you soon. It's been lovely talking to you and spending some time with you. All right then, everyone. Bye bye.